Hey guys, how are you doing? It is such a gorgeous day outside, and I thought, well, I've been out here working in my yard, as you can tell, and I thought, what a beautiful day to record you a story. I hope you can hear me, and I hope that the cars going by don't disturb us too much, and the lawnmowers and all of that stuff going on out here. And I hope the bumblebees don't come by. And I know that people driving by are thinking I'm crazy, but that's okay. You know I'm crazy too, don't you? I want you to see the pond behind me. There goes the truck. I want you to see the beautiful pond behind me. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know if you can see, but that's the beautiful view that I have from my kitchen and my living room of the pond across. So today I want to read you a book, and the title of it is, I'm not going to tell you the title yet. It is by Cynthia Rylant. All right, guys, come on. Tell me some people we know that, some other books that we know Cynthia Rylant wrote. Give you a minute. Yep, that's right. Henry and Mudge. She wrote the Henry and Mudge books and the Mr. Putter and Tabby books and some of my other favorite books that I might read to you on another day. But this is one that just makes me feel good because I make a lot of connections with this book because y'all know how much I love my family and how much I love to spend time with my family. And the title of this book is called The Relatives Came. We all know what our relatives are. Those are those people that are kin to us. And I'm going to show you that I'm not telling you a lie. It is written by Cynthia Rylant. And it's called The Relatives Came, and it's illustrated by Stephen Gamble. He illustrated a lot of her books. So I want us to make some connections today. I want you to think about, I know a lot of you have family that live in faraway places in other states. And I want you to think about what it feels like when they come home, what it feels like when you know they're coming. And think about days like today when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing and you're just ready for summer. So think about those summer days with relatives. This is called The Relatives Came. It was the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came from Virginia. They left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. I told you I make connections with that because of my grapevines that I have. Look at the relatives packing up their car. I'll show you their house in a minute. It says grapes were nearly purple, but not quite. They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car, and in it they put an ice chest full of soda pop and some boxes of crackers and some bologna sandwiches, and up they came from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning when it was still dark, even before the birds were awake. Have you ever traveled anywhere and mom and dad made you get up really early in the morning and put you in the car and you were probably still sleepy, and you got in the car and you just went on right to sleep? I remember doing that when I was a little girl. Mom and dad getting me up early and packing us in the car. There they are in their old station wagon. I hope you can see. And it's still dark. And you travel and watch the sun come up. That's what they've done. They're coming from Virginia. Goes a car by. Hold on. They drove all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes back home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us too, waiting for them. There they go, traveling over all those roads. Look, all the bumpy roads and hills. When you kind of leave home, you kind of miss home. Yeah, there was a wasp. You kind of miss home, but yet you're anxious to get where you're going to. So they drank up all their pop and ate up all their crackers and traveled up all those miles until finally they pulled into our yard. And look at this. They're there to greet them, aren't they? There they come. They're there to greet them. Then it was hugging time. You know I love that. Talk about the hugging. Those relatives just passed us all around their car, pulling us against their wrinkled Virginia clothes, crying sometimes. They hugged us for hours. Not seen each other in a long time, had they? Here they are hugging. The sun keeps peeping in and out. Look at them. It's just a wonderful moment, isn't it? Then it was into the house, and so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. Those relatives. Here you can see them all piled up in the house. See the windows? Look, there's Grandma, it looks like. Got to remember which way to go with my book. Look. Think about when you get together with all your relatives. And if you've got a big family, you know what it's like. Can't even walk through the house. And finally, after a big supper, 2 or 3 times around, until we all got a turn at the table, there was quiet talk. And we were in 2s and 3s throughout the house. In my family, when I was a little girl, you had to wait in line, like could never get to the table to eat. You had to wait on the big folks to get through. And then when you finally got through, something was always gone. Couldn't wait to be a grown-up where I could go to the table first. The relatives weren't particular about their beds, which was good, since there weren't any extras. So a few squeezed in with us, and the rest slept on the floor. Some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with an arm across one person and a leg across another person. It was different going to sleep with all that new breathing in the house. Think about that. Everybody's sleeping in the house. I'm going to get this close so you can see it. Look at them just piled up there. Their big slumber party. There's some in the bed. They didn't care, did they? Look at the dog. They were just happy to be together. The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden, and they fixed any broken things they could find. This is a great picture. I'm going to see if you can see it. Here they are. Look, she's helping him fix a toy. They're back there in the garden playing. Here comes the funny one. Look, he's giving him a haircut. Look at that, getting a haircut. Oh, there's piggyback rides. Says they stayed for weeks and weeks. They ate up all our strawberries and melons, then promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. Here they are again. Notice everybody's outside. Playing music, building fences, eating watermelon. See the little boy eating the watermelon right there? There he is. But none of us thought about Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. Uh-oh, they've got the camera out. They're going to take some pictures here in a minute. Look, oh, the picnic. Look at the dog. Ah! Now it looks like they're trying to get a family picture. See her right here trying to get this picture? She's trying to get a family picture, isn't she? Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded up their ice chest and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back in our beds that felt too big and too quiet, and we fell asleep. Think about that. Now their beds feel a little bit too big. Why do you think their beds felt too big now? And it was too quiet. Look, they're standing in their jammies, watching their relatives leave. And the relatives drove on all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their dark purple grapes waiting at home in Virginia. But they thought about us too, missing them, and they missed us. They are driving at night across the valleys. Comes a truck by. And when they were finally home in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds and dreamed about the next summer. And there they are. They got back home. There's the old car parked in the garage. And in the last picture on the very last page, it's their grapes. So there were some words in there. Might need to ask Mom and Dad about. I would love to tell you about them, but the video would be way too long. What was the soda pop? And a station wagon. It talked about their old station wagon. It's the old type of car. Look it up. Google it. Get some pictures. And the soda pop. So they had their wonderful time together, but then they missed each other. And they looked forward to being together again. It's kind of how I feel today. Miss you guys. But we're going to be together again. We may not get to be together in our classroom, but we will see each other. We'll be there. We're going to be together. But all that matters, here comes a car. We're going to let the car pass so it won't be so loud. There it goes. But all that matters, guys, is that you're safe and you're healthy. And although this is very hard, and I miss you guys so much, but I know that we're going to be together and we're going to see each other soon. And all that matters is that you're healthy. So I'll be talking to you again soon and be doing some more work together. We're going to do it online. I don't know that much about it yet, but I'll learn and I'll figure it out. But I love you guys, and I will see you soon. I'm sending hugs and kisses. Wish I could wrap you up like the relatives did and give you hugs, but I can't. But that's okay. I'm sending you kisses, mwah, and hugs. I love you all so very much, babies. I'll see you soon.